A proposal that aims to limit workplace COVID-19 vaccine requirements. What Indiana has to say.
An Indiana bill that some claim will increase transparency of school curricula, why some educators don't agree.
It's not often community celebrates a 100th birthday, and this Muncie celebration is extra unique.
I'm tracking heavy precipitation going in tomorrow and chances of flooding.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Rebecca Rosado. You know, Alex, today it was extremely warm outside.
Yeah, I think you were mentioning something about taking a swim. I think it's almost that time.
I said it's almost that time of year, but let's find out if this weather is going to keep it up.
Right. Dimitri, what can you tell us?
I'm not so sure it's going to keep it up, but it was nice to get those winter jackets off for the day. But for right now, we have a current temperature of 55. And those cloudy skies are right there right now, but the winds are calming down. As we know from earlier today, it was pretty hectic out there, but they're at 11 miles an hour right now. But I do want to take a look at our peak winds from today. Now you can see Muncie was at 41 miles an hour earlier today. For our strongest gusts, Fort Wayne at 38, Indianapolis at 35 here, and some other areas around Indiana as well. Now, we are going to be talking about some heavy rain coming from overnight on Thursday, as well as some falling temperatures, and also flooding is possible into tomorrow.
And Phil, thank you very much, Dimitri. Muncie Central High School is one of the oldest high schools in the state, and that goes for school spirit as well.
NewsLink Indiana's Anna Chalker got the inside look at one of the oldest members of the school.
Happy birthday to you.
A birthday celebration like no other.
Believe it or not, Bo Bearcat is 100 years old today.
In 1962, they asked a student to actually dress up as the mascot and actually have a physical representation.
Past and present Bearcats honored during halftime of the Muncie Central Harrison game. One Bearcat recognized.
From 1962 and 1964, Nancy Wingle.
The first ever physical mascot.
It's an experience I will never, ever forget.
The memorabilia room holds the memories for all past Bearcats, including the state championship team Winkle cheered for, remembering the memories.
Extremely fun, and it was more than fun. But this team made it that way.
Memories created for students who take on the role, giving them chances to express themselves like never before.
It's a good way for a student that is shy to participate and to be part of something and still feel comfortable.
Pride, honor, and tradition. Many of the words a Bearcat will always remember.
It's something that you hold in your heart and you never forget it.
A tradition they plan to keep for Bearcats to come another 100 years. In Muncie, Anna Chalker, NewsLink, Indiana.
Now, when a student is the mascot, no one knows their identity until senior night. And for an inside look at Bo the Bearcat's life, you can visit their Twitter at BearcatBo.
Now, Ball State's dance marathon was held in person this weekend after their yearly fundraising event was put online on 2021.
NewsLink Indiana's Grace Benkowski brings us an update on BSU DM's fundraising and a recap of the marathon. Grace.
Thank you, guys. Ball State's dance marathon raised over $276,000 during this year's 13.1-hour long marathon following their Smiles for Mile fundraising event last November. For Marathon Relations Committee member Bella Watts, this year's marathon revival surpassed expectations regarding turnout and money raised.
I know that this was their first in-person marathon, or first in a while, so I feel like just get back in the swing of things and kind of make it as good as we can, which I definitely think we succeeded with that.
This was the second event put on by this year's marathon committee to raise money for Riley Children's Hospital. After raising over $30,000 through their Smiles for Miles event, participants of both fundraisers, like Watts, are glad they could, quote, raise the morale through their efforts. And Alex and Rebecca, the donating does not stop there. Donations are still being accepted on Ball State's Dance Marathon website as they prepare for their next marathon in 2023.
Thank you very much, Grace. Well, an Indiana Senate panel has endorsed rolling back a proposal that aimed to limit workplace COVID-19 vaccine requirements, setting up weeks of negotiations with House members. Changes to the bill approved today by the Senate's Health Committee require businesses to grant medical vaccine exemptions to workers, along with religious exemptions, as required by federal law. Opponents of vaccine requirements lined up against the Senate's proposal, arguing that federal laws have been inadequate in protecting the rights of people to make their own healthcare decisions.
More than 50 million households have received their free COVID-19 home test from the federal government. Today, White House COVID-19's response team's senior advisor, Dr. Tom Inglesby, said that represents more than 80% of the initial orders. The Biden administration announced in December it bought $500 million at-home COVID-19 tests to be mailed to Americans. The government launched a website to sign up for the free test in January. Given an expected drop in demand as Omicron goes down, Inglesby says the administration is asking the testing industry for ideas on how to sustain and expand the market going forward. He says the test will be needed to interpret coronavirus spread long term, since they allow people to get a quick diagnosis, access treatment, and protect more vulnerable people. The CDC says more guidance on COVID-19 is on the way.
If and when we update our guidance, we will communicate that clearly, and it will be based on the data.
The Biden administration is asking lawmakers for more money to continue fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Yesterday, top health and human services officials signaled the need for more supplemental funding to lawmakers, asking for an additional $30 billion. It'll go toward vaccines, treatments, testing, and other pandemic preparedness measures. In a statement, an HHS spokesperson says, quote, "These resources would help us continue expanding the tools that the country needs to stay ahead of the virus and help us move toward the time when COVID-19 will not disrupt our daily lives," end quote. So far, the Biden administration has used more than 90% of the funding in the American Rescue Plan. Beginning Friday, Purdue University will make face masks optional in many indoor settings on its main campus in West Lafayette. The school said today the new policy does not apply to instructional, research, healthcare settings where they are contractually required. Purdue sporting events will be among the indoor spaces where masks will be considered optional. Purdue cites dropping coronavirus case numbers and low severity for the policy change.
Now, turning towards education in Indiana, an Indiana bill that Republican lawmakers say would increase transparency of school curricula and could undergo significant changes in response to criticism from teachers and education advocates.
Republican bill sponsor Senator Linda Rogers of Granger announced an amendment yesterday that would remove strongly debated provisions in the bill requiring classroom materials to be posted online and reviewed by parent committees. Other provisions in the current bill that restrict teaching about racism and politics could also be removed with the amendment. The Senate Education Committee is slated to take up Rogers' amendment today. The House advanced the measure last month.
Indiana lawmakers have advanced a bill that would ban transgender women and girls from participating in K-12 school sports that match their gender identity. The Senate's Education Committee advanced the measure today in an 8-3 vote along party lines after the House advanced the bill last month. It now heads to the full Senate. The bill would prohibit students who were born male but identify as female from participating in a sport or athletic team that is designated for women or girls. But it would not prevent students who identify as female or transgender men from playing on a men's sports team.
Well, there's plenty more to get to on NewsLink Indiana after the break. You could be digging deeper in your wallet for everyday items, how an invasion of Ukraine by Russia could drive up gas prices.
And former Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke is said to have violated ethics rules. Hear what the Inspector General is saying.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
An Indiana congressman who was rejected by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi as the top Republican for the committee investigating last year's U.S. Capitol insurrection is fending off an effort to remove his name from this year's election ballot. The challenge to Representative Jim Banks' candidacy by a Democratic challenger is at least the second across the country against a Republican House member that claims they violated the U.S. Constitution by supporting an insurrection. Banks announces the ballot challenge as frivolous. A former Democratic member of the Indiana Election Commission says he believes it has little chance of success when it's considered on Friday.
A new watchdog report shows former Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke violated ethics rules. The Interior Department's Inspector General says Zinke negotiated with commercial land developers while in office. They were speaking with the Great Northern Veterans Peace Park Foundation about a land project in Montana. Zinke resigned a previously held position with that foundation when he was named Interior Secretary in 2017. The report finds he continued speaking with the developers on the foundation's behalf after that. Zinke tweeted yesterday, quote, "Only in Biden's corrupt administration is talking to my neighbors a sin." The report concludes the negotiation were an ethics violation, but not illegal because he did not participate in matters deemed official. The Justice Department declined to pursue a criminal investigation of the matter last summer.
Well, Russia has added as many as 7,000 troops near the Ukraine border in recent days, bringing more concern here in the U.S. New analysis warns an invasion of Ukraine by Russia could drive up the already high cost of living in the United States.
Economists say the potential conflict could rattle global energy markets and create a ripple effect that could impact millions of American households. Russia is the world's second largest producer of oil, and supply is already failing to keep up with demand. That's partly why we've seen oil prices move up, and an invasion or sanctions that cut off supply could send prices even higher.
Impact me. It's in the cost of everyday living. Basically, the things we don't think about, like heating our home, like turning on the television, turning on your computer.
Higher oil and natural gas prices could also mean higher cost for airfare and transportation.
Well, a chance for flooding and snow. Dimitri, that's a sneak peek at the weather this week.
Yeah, we have a chance for flooding and also some chances for heavy rainfall tonight as well. More on that after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling?
Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. The time now is 9:16, and you're taking a look at campus, but now we're going to take a look at weather with Dimitri.
Yeah, we're starting to look at the flood watch that's under effect until tomorrow night on Thursday, until the late evening. As you can see, it's most of Indiana and into Ohio as well. Now, what exactly is causing that flooding? We'll see those heavy rainfalls and precipitation coming in tomorrow, as well as melting snow, and then that frozen ground from the colder temperatures over the last few weeks. Now, all of that's going to combine into making these conditions that are favorable for flooding, and that's why we're taking a look at it and making sure we're watching it. Now, I do want to track those showers. Thursday at 3 a.m. is when they're going to start moving into our area here on Muncie, as you can see. Now, as we go a little bit further, 6 a.m., we'll see the heaviest showers here in the red, orange, and yellow. Now, as we move on a little bit further, we're going to see these showers turn into mixed precipitation, so we might see some things like sleet and some freezing rain. And then even as the temperatures get lower, we're going to see some chances for snow as well. We're not expecting it to accumulate too much as well, because of the roads are going to be nice and wet, so we're not going to see the snow accumulate on the ground as much. But we will see that rain accumulation leading to that flooding, as we said. So 1.42 inches here in Muncie, and then about 1.5 to 2 inches around the area as well. So do keep an eye on that, and if you are driving tomorrow, make sure you're, one, avoiding those potholes, and two, making sure to watch out for any flooding and make the right choice. And if you see it, maybe turn back and find a better route. Now, as well as that, we do have some chances for ice accumulation of 0.1 inch here, and maybe some 0.28 here in Kokomo. So how is that going to affect your traveling over the next few days? As I said, on Wednesday, not too much. But on Thursday morning, you will see flooding, and Thursday evening, you might even see some snow and rain, and that could be a big problem, so do keep that in mind. We're hoping that by Friday morning that it will wrap up and we will see better conditions. Now, as we look into tonight, windy, as we said, those southwest winds coming in at 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 35 miles an hour. And the temperature is nice. It's looking nice at 50 degrees as our low, but that's not going to last too long. As we can see here, 8 a.m. we have 50 degrees, and then at 12 it's going to start slowly coming down as those winds shift from coming from the south to coming in from the north. So as we can see at 5 p.m. we have temperatures down at 34 degrees here. That might make more sense as we look at the mid 7-day forecast, as we see the temperatures falling. 50 and then the low of 16 tomorrow, and then it's going to warm back up as we go into next week.
Wow, so we really are just kind of getting a little taste of everything, taste of Indiana weather.
Yes, absolutely.
Like a roller coaster.
Kind of that fall spring that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dimitri.
Thank you very much. Well, a preview of sports right here.
One local high school celebrates a senior night miracle, and another sending the most wrestlers to state in 25 years. Find out who next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Kara Przuchek with sports. On Tuesday night, Muncie Burris took to Ball Gymnasium for a senior night. While the Owls celebrated their 2 seniors, Daniel Miller and Adam Combs, a special moment occurred at the buzzer. NewsLink Indiana's John Kleinmeyer hit the court to find out what happened.
It was senior night at Muncie Burris, and the Owls took the court to honor their 2 seniors in a game versus the Hagerstown Tigers, Adam Combs and Daniel Miller. Before the game, the 2 were honored by the school, students, and teammates for all the hard work over the time they have been in the program. For Daniel, it was his first year playing basketball, and his work ethic is everything.
Daniel has been such a good person to be around. He always shows up with a good attitude. He's always willing to work. He wants to learn as much as he can.
I got here right after school at 3 o'clock, got some shots up. I've been here pretty much all day.
With only around 20 seconds left in the game, the Owls held a 17-point lead. Daniel was getting his final minutes as the game came to a close, as Burris had one last possession. The Owls got the rebound and threw the ball to the opposite side of the court, with Daniel Miller standing wide open in the corner and taking the last shot of the game.
That on this special night for me, that I was able to show up in a big way.
After the game, the Owl student section and the team surrounded Daniel with their support, celebrating the big one, but most importantly, the big shot.
That feeling of the entire student body and my teammates and everyone around me just coming together to support me at the end felt amazing.
With such a big impact over the whole Burris community, it is a memory that the team will remember forever.
I mean, that's storybook for you right there for a kid who hasn't had much of that experience. I'll be so proud of that probably for the day I die. I'll remember that forever.
A storybook ending for a first-year senior that will be shared forever. In Muncie, John Kleinmeyer, NewsLink, Indiana.
Moving to Worthern Arena, women's basketball wrapping up their contest against Buffalo. The Cardinals coming into this one, winning 5 of their last 6, including the Bulls on January 26. Ball State entering with a 14-8 record as they look to get back on track, coming off a 3-point loss to Kent State on Saturday. Buffalo is also coming off a loss in their last matchup, falling in overtime to NIU. The final score is 67-62 with a Buffalo win. Heading to the mats, the high school action this weekend is highlighted by the IHSAA Wrestling Tournament at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. This year's tournament will feature plenty of local talent. Delta High School will be sending 4 wrestlers to the state tournament for the first time since 1997. Aiden Bullinger is a freshman competing in the lightest weight class at 106 pounds. Neil Mosier is a sophomore competing at 120 pounds. He won his semi-state match with a pin at the final buzzer. Dylan Tuttle is the team's only senior, competing at 138 pounds. He and Mosier were the only 2 on the team to even qualify for semi-state last season. And finally, Braxton Russell is a sophomore competing at 170 pounds. Russell manages to overcome a double stress fracture in his lower back early on in the season to qualify for the state meet this weekend. Each wrestler have their own expectations for the meet.
Competing, going for the experience, and going and getting a medal, hopefully.
I've never been here. I'm excited for the atmosphere. I'm excited to see everybody, all the fans there and everything, just because I've never been to a tournament this big.
As Braxton said, the atmosphere. I've always wanted to be there, so definitely the atmosphere and being with my teammates and just having fun.
Looking forward for actually being there wrestling, because I've gone to the state finals, but I've watched. I've never actually been on the floor wrestling, so man, feels really cool.
It's really exciting that these high schoolers get to go to this state competition and participate in one of the oldest sports in the world.
Right, and what a obstacle to overcome. Braxton with that that injury is
that's crazy.
Quite much. For sure.
Thank you so much, Kara.
Thank you.
Well, after the break, a final check of the weather. Stay up with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. It's time to take a look at our anchor picks.
With National Women's Month approaching, the Oscars announced that 3 women are set to host this year's awards. Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall will each be hosting 1 hour of the 94th Oscars. The Oscars are set to air March 27th.
Well, instead of leaving home to visit Disney's theme parks, you could one day live in a Disney-branded community. Today, the Walt Disney Company announced plans to develop residential communities. Each location will feature perks like Disney cast members providing guest services and, of course, live entertainment. The company says its first community will be built in Rancho Mirage, California. It'll feature a wide variety of homes, including estates, single-family homes, and condominiums. Disney says homeowners of all ages are welcome. Well, we're going to take a final look at that weather. It's going to be a little bit of everything.
Yes. Dimitri, what do you have for us?
Yeah, taking one last look at the mid 7-day forecast here. Thursday, those temperatures are going to fall drastically, as we can see. 16 degrees is our low that night. That's going to carry on into Friday for 31 and 27 as our highs. But thankfully, as we get into next week, those temperatures will come right back up, bringing a chance of precipitation here as well.
All right, thank you, Dimitri. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Stay safe and have a great night.